Hi everyone, my name is Jaime Martinez. I'm a senior backend engineer in the Container Registry group. And today I'm going to be showing you how to enable the metadata database for the Container Registry for Helm installations. This is a continuation on the previous video that I made for Omnibus installations, but today I'm going to focus on the Helm charts. There's already a snippet here that I've created where you can follow the steps to enable the database and stuff. So I'm going to be basically walking through that. Yeah, so let's get started. Just before we do that, just a few reminders. There's a few risks. This is not production ready. This is just a demo on how to do it. The Postgres instance using this guide is the one included in the cluster, but GitLab does not recommend this for production use. Please provision your own database either in a different instance or through a SaaS platform of your choice. And there's also the risk of data loss or data inconsistency, especially if at any point you turn on the database, push images, or delete them, and eventually disable the database, the data that you have is not going to match anymore. So yeah, just please be aware of that. And yeah, so this issue I'm going to link in the video description. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or any comments about this. So yeah, let's get started. Before the first step is going to be to create a directory where we store all the things that we need. So in this case, I'm just going to make a directory called GitLab test. Let's cd into that. There's nothing here. And I'm going to be following the test the GitLab chart on GKE or EKS guide that we have available here. For the purpose of this demo, I'm going to be using GKE just because I have a project already set up that I'm going to use. As you can see, I don't have any clusters in this project yet. So this should be doing everything for me. Please make sure to follow the prerequisites and install everything that you need. I'm going to be using the automate cluster creation setup, which is basically, I'm going to say Google Kubernetes engine. And this eventually points to this bootstrap script that is available here in this repository, basically the charts repository. You can either clone this repo or you can just get a copy of this. I'm just going to get a copy for this. I'm going to open this file. I already downloaded this, but basically we need this bootstrap script, and the other file we need from the same repository is the command.sh that you can find. You can also find in this repository. If you go back to scripts, there's a command sh. It's gonna copy it, and I'm gonna put it in the same directory. Bootstrap. Whoa, hold on. Not it. This is the one. Yes. Cool. So now we should have two files, command sh and bootstrap sh. Let's make sure that we add execution permissions to both. So let's say command and do the same for the bootstrap. Awesome. There are a few important values that we need to configure. One is the region that you want to use for your cluster. The default is US Central 1. I have already set it up to my local region, so that should be ready. And then the project, remember, this is the GCP project ID. So in this case, I already have a project that you can see here. This number here, and this is the one that matches the project on Google Cloud. So awesome. Those are the most important variables that we need to configure, but there's also a few more that you can use. There's one that is called use static IP. I believe I had set that to true. Yes. And this is because I want to be using an external IP address instead of a DNS name, and I want the this will create a static IP in the GKE resources, sorry, in the GCS resources, so that the IP doesn't change. It's just, and for the purposes of the demo, that's fine. Awesome. So now that I have both scripts and they all have the permissions and I have the proper environment variables, I can just call GK bootstrap. And this script requires you to use the word up. If you want to create a cluster, you can also use it with the word down to destroy all the resources if you want. So while I leave that running, this is going to take a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll get back to you when this is done. All right, welcome back, everyone. As you can see on the right-hand side, the script has finished, and I have now a cluster in my preferred location. If I go to GKE and I refresh this page, we should be able to see this cluster in here. If I go into it, it's gonna show some details. There's an external endpoint. Let's just grab this for now. It's the IP address that we're gonna be using for testing. And now we're gonna keep going on this with this guide, installing the Helm chart. I already have the Kubernetes, the kubectl and the Helm tool installed on my machine, so that should be all good. I also have added the repo. So if I try to do this, it will say I already have this, so it's all good. Now let's go ahead and install GitLab. We're just gonna grab this here. And we're gonna change something here in the domain. Just gonna say, let's grab the IP address. And then we're gonna use this service nip.io. It's pretty handy for testing. So let's go with that one. And we're also gonna set the certificate manager because try to get a TLS certificate from Let's Encrypt. The only problem with that is it might be rate limited. So let's just try that out. I'm just gonna use my email address. This should install the Helm chart. And this one will take a couple of minutes as well. So I'm gonna pause the video again and I'll see you back in a bit. Okay, so installing the Helm chart took a little bit of time. Didn't take that long as I thought it would have. So this is good. If we go and check with Kubernetes, with kubectl, get pods, for example, we should see all the pods initializing and running. Most of them are running now, but some of them will take some time to complete. But we can keep going right now. So let's keep following this guide and let's get the IP address of the GitLab service. So the important bit is this. This should match the IP address that we used before. No, it didn't. So the address has changed. So we're gonna have to change some things before we move on, before we are able to sign in to GitLab. So this is because if we follow the steps, it's asking us to configure a DNS record with this IP address. So what we're gonna do is gonna change the GitLab config to use this new IP address. And to do that, we're gonna step ahead here. We're gonna get the Helm chart values that we have for GitLab. If we do this, we can see whatever configuration we use. So it's basically the two values that I provisioned before. And what we're gonna do is pass them, save them to a file, to a values YAML file. Now that we have this, let's open the file over here. And we're gonna replace the IP address with this one that is here. This is all done. And what we're gonna do now is upgrade the Helm chart. So what we're gonna call is Helm upgrade GitLab, and we're gonna pass a file, which is called values YAML. And this should take a minute, but it's basically gonna restart GitLab and, well, whatever networking configurations need to happen to change the host names. So eventually we should be able to go to this domain here, to the GitLab domain. Okay, so this shouldn't take too long, but let's wait and see. While we wait, there's a tool that I'm going to be using here. It's called K9S. This allows us to interact with the Kubernetes cluster that we have. It's pretty handy. All the documentation is here. As you can see, it's just a CLI tool. Basically, that allows us to see what's going on. So if I go K9S, it should connect to the cluster that I have running. As you can see, it's using the project cluster in the current location, GitLab cluster, which should match whatever cluster we have here. Yeah, GitLab cluster. Cool. So this gives us a very cool visual guide of what's going on. As you can see, all the pods are running now. Most of them have completed. I think most of them, yeah, they have all completed. So if we actually go, we try to get the address again, this one. So the host GitLab IP address.nip.io matches the address. So if I navigate to that on the browser, that should take me to the sign-in page of my GitLab instance. Cool. So the username is root, and to get the password for your cluster, you can just follow this. Excuse me. Just get it from one of the secrets that is available in Kubernetes. So I'm gonna paste this. Just give me the password, and I'm gonna sign in with this password. And this is the first time I'm signing in. So I'm gonna disable signings as a normal precaution. Awesome, cool. So we are able to sign into GitLab. So we are done with this part of the test. Now what we're gonna do, the next step is, let's create a test project that we're gonna be using for testing our container registry. So for example, I'm gonna say create blank project, and I'm gonna set it to the root project, to the root user, and it's gonna say registry s. I'm gonna make it private, and I'm gonna initialize with a README. This should be fairly quick. Awesome, we have a test project. If I navigate to packages and registries, container registry, I should see that the registry is enabled, but it's empty right now. I don't have any tags, and that's what we want for now. Cool. So now that we've done this, we will also need a personal access token. This is to be able to authenticate against the registry. So you navigate to your user preferences and go to access tokens. You're gonna create a token here. So I'm gonna say GKE token, and I'm gonna give it API scope. With this test, this creates an access token. This puts it in this creates a token in here. I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna export it. Following the guide here, I'm gonna export it to a environment variable. Here, I'll specify here. So I'm gonna say export path. I'm gonna move this away for a second. Cool. I have exported the path, and now I should be ready to move on to the next step, which is basically going to be creating a registry database. So let's follow that first. Checking this guide here. Cool. So this is in the registry chart documentation, and one subsection at the bottom. This will allow you to move things a bit faster. So we're gonna go and copy this. Just one thing we need to change is the release name is called GitLab. And we're gonna say just like registry password. This is gonna create a Kubernetes secret that is gonna be able that we can use to connect to the registry with to the Postgres instance database. Remember, this is using the in-cluster Postgres database. If you're using a separate instance, then you will have to do this, create the password and store it securely somewhere else. But for this purpose, it's pretty straightforward. Now we have a password. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna shell into the Postgres container, which is somewhere around here, Postgres 0. Yeah. The one-liner is to use this one here, which is just executing this kubectl exec and bashing into the container. I must be missing something. Okay, this is funky. I didn't have this problem before. Let's see. I guess it's not getting the pod's name. So I know that is this pod over here. We can get, we can execute this subcommand first, which is get the pods that with the label Postgres. Okay, there's no pods. Control get pods. Let's see what's going on. This should be returning here, but it's basically this one here. Probably the label is not what I think it should be. Labels, yeah, Postgres, PostgreSQL, custom columns. Okay, this is a bit funky. It's probably the namespace. You control get namespace. It should be the default one. Where is the namespace default? Yeah, the label is PostgreSQL at PostgreSQL. Get paths. Anyway, to move this forward, the one we want is this one, GitLab Postgres SQL 0. So we're gonna have to execute this like this. Give control exec -IP, the name of the pod, and then we're gonna say let's bash into it. Awesome. So we're now in the container and the Postgres container. And since we're here, we're gonna be using this this command here with PSQL to connect to the database with the user Postgres. This user should have root permission. And the password that we need for this, I believe, okay. This is not doing what it's supposed to be using. Okay, so this is not correct, but we can get this from the secrets. So we should have a Postgres password here. Cool. So the way we do this is control the secret, similar to how we did it before. Postgres SP. Yes, we will get the secret password. We're gonna get the Postgres SQL password, which is this string here. Okay, and we're gonna execute into the container again. Okay, let's do PG password. Let's see if this works. No, doesn't work. So we are gonna paste the password that we just copied. Oop. Okay, this is not working. So I may be using the wrong cluster. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna pause this video while I figure this out. All right, so I was using the wrong password, so that's why I was getting the wrong address. Sorry, the wrong password, so I couldn't log in. The secret GitLab PostgreSQL password actually has this other key in there that is called PostgreSQL Postgres password. That's the one we actually want. So if I go to exec into the Postgres root, okay, there might be something going on. Yeah, okay, so something is restarting. So let's just give this some time to finish. I'm not really sure what happened here, but this should be ready soon. Postgres. Okay, let's follow the logs. Okay, database ready to accept connections. Okay, let's bash into it again. Cool. Let's give the PG password a try again. No, that didn't work. But if I grab the password that is in this secret and I paste it here, yes, awesome. That connected me to the database. I'm the user. We can see which databases are available. We only have the production and a few more. Now that we're in here, we're gonna create the username, the database username for the registry database. So basically role with the registry with login. That's great. And we're gonna get the password. Remember that this is saved in the Kubernetes secret. So if you forgot what you typed, you can just grab this, execute this command that is in here. And I'm gonna say GitLab. It's a very simple string. So I'm gonna say password for registry. This will prompt me to enter the password. Awesome. So the username should be ready. Now that we have a username with password, we are going to create the registry database. In this case, a simple command. Awesome. And we should be able to connect to the registry. So if you do /c registry, which is the name, we are now connected to the registry with the user Postgres. So it's all good. If we exit, we should be able to log in to the Postgres database. So instead of using Postgres here, we're going to use registry, and we're going to try to connect to the registry database. And we're going to type in the password in here. And that works. So now we're connected here. Now, if we do a list of the tables, there's nothing yet. So we'll let's leave that there for a second, and as we keep going. Awesome. So now that we have the logical database ready, let's see. We now need to start configure the registry to be able to use the database. Now, remember that we have a values YML file that it was obtained getting this Helm get values GitLab. And now that we have that, we're gonna add the registry configuration. So to do that, let's copy this block, and I'm gonna explain that in just a second. All these configuration values are available in the registry chart. So all this information it's all available here. When you search for database, all the need and grid of this configuration values that you can use. Most of them are to control like some of the pool connections and the timeouts and things like that. Also, if you want to use SSL client authentication, you can do that too. And yeah, but the registry uses a lot of the defaults that are needed, so you don't need to configure much. You just need to configure a few things, which I'm gonna explain in the file. Basically, what we're saying is, okay, the registry is enabled. We don't need to say that, but just for the sake of completeness, we're gonna have a database, and we're gonna say it's enabled. We're gonna use the name of the database, which is the registry. The username is also called registry. For the password, here you cannot put a blank line. Sorry, a text, plain text. You need to use a secret. So we're basically gonna reference to the GitLab registry database password, and we're gonna use in the secret this key stored name as password. Now, if you check on the right, when we do get secret, we are basically saying, okay, give me the key password for this secret, and it's a string that is going to eventually be replaced in the configuration as it needs to be. And one of the other neat things that we have in the Helm charts is that the schema migrations can be run automatically. So you can just say migrations enable to true, and that's gonna take a lot of these things. Gonna do all the migrations for us. So awesome. Now that we have this, we can do another Helm upgrade GitLab, and we're gonna use our values. And this is gonna take a minute. If I open another terminal, and if I open K9s, I should see that the registry, let's search for registry. Some of the pods, these are the pods that are running right now. It's been up for a while, so it's gonna eventually, once this upgrade is done, we're gonna see the pod restarting because it's applying the configuration. Awesome. So this is done. If I go back to, whoop, I lost this. Awesome. So as you can see, we have two new pods. It's the registry migrations, which is running. So if I check the logs for this, I can see that all the migrations have been applied. It took 15 seconds to apply 133 migrations. This is because it's a new database. And it also depends on the registry version that we're running. But I will go to that in a second. Awesome. So we have two pods running. The newest one is probably, both of them are running, and they're the newer ones, I suppose. Yes. Awesome. This is good. So these are tailing the logs of one of the registry pods. And the important message to look forward here is this, the one that says metadata database is an experimental feature. Please do not enable it in production. That means the registry started in the database mode, which is good. That's what we wanted. And if I go back to the database here and I do, okay, give me all the tables, all of them should be in there. So you can see all the tables that are needed have been created, and we can see the schema migrations. If I go and say select all from schema migrations, it's gonna give me a list of all of them, and it's all the times when these migrations were applied. If I count the records here, it should give me 133 as we saw before. Yeah, so 133 rows, which matches whatever logs we had for the migrations. Oh, they have been removed, so we can't see them anymore. But awesome, let's tail this one of the logs. Okay, yeah, we can't see because it's tailing, so it's whatever the current is. Awesome. So where am I? Cool. So we are done with this part. I basically went ahead with these steps here, which was applying the migrations, upgrading the registry, sorry, the Helm chart. And now we check the logs, and we are already in the registry, sorry, in the Postgres database. So we are verifying everything is in there. So cool. Now that we have this, we're gonna have to do let's push a new image to this registry. We're gonna have to do a Docker logging before we do a push, and we might also need to configure an insecure registry. This depends on the certificates that were generated. So let's go and see if I do queue control. Yeah, this one. No, not the pods. Yeah. This one, get ingress. This is a registry address, right? And the other way to get this is by going into here, into the instance, and see, okay, this is my instance, my registry instance. And we're gonna do a Docker login. But we're gonna follow the same format that we have in here in the guide, which is basically, okay, echo Docker login, and then the username is root, and then password, we're gonna use this password std. And okay, I think my path is in this other terminal, so I need to get out of this. Yep, echo path. Let's just copy this. Awesome, this succeeded. It's logging into the registry. If I go to the logs, I should see the requests to the login. Yeah, some of the requests are coming in through, which is good. This is what we wanted. And now that we are able to log in, please note we didn't have to do the insecure registries. That's because the certificates were generated correctly. But if for some reason we're using self-signed certificates specified here, you might need to configure an insecure registry, and that depends on the container runtime that you're using. So okay, let's do. We're logged in on this terminal, so let's pull up Alpine image. The latest is quite small, and we're gonna tag it, and we're gonna use the registry address. We can get the name of the repository like this. So just grab this part here, and let's create a sub-repository called Alpine and tag it latest. And now that we're ready with this, we should be able to push. Okay, push. Great. that was push all done. And if I refresh this page, it should show up, registry test Alpine. And it's basically the same, the digest that you see here, B312, blah, 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 is the same first few digits that appear here. Over here, that's awesome. So that's all good. Now what we're gonna do is just verify that this is all working correctly. So in the database, so one way to do that is to exec into the Postgres instance again. Exec bash, and then we're gonna do PSQL user. Let's just use the registry user because we know the password. And the database is called registry. Awesome. So if I go and select all from repositories, that should give me the name of the repository, the path of that repository, which matches whatever we pushed up here, which is root registry Alpine. It's exactly the same. If I select from text, we're gonna see the latest tag, and this matches the repository ID 1, which is this one over here. And the top level namespace is the same. So you can look around at the schema to see what else you can query. So for example, select from blobs. This should be like the layers that we are storing, and select from manifest, for example. That gives us a lot of other metadata about this this registry, or this image. So yeah, as you can see, it's all working as expected. It's all showing up in the database, and we navigated as well to the UI. So this is all in here. So yeah, that's how you enable the registry. Please feel free to reach out to this issue that I'll link, or reach out and tag the Container Registry team, where we can try to help you and answer your questions. So thank you. And yeah, we'll see you next time.